Hello and welcome to CEO Insights, the Living Organization podcast. My name is Vitaly Gaiman. With me is Adam Muggleton from AESG. It's a building consultancy company. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I'm looking forward to this.
It's a pleasure. We met with Adam, obviously, over LinkedIn because I noticed his title called the Building Philosopher. He's the Chief Technical Officer for the company. Tell us about your philosophy around building industry and why you feel a little bit uneasy about what's going on right now.
Yeah, my self-appointed nom de plume is a building whisperer and building industry philosopher. Reason being, I'm old. I'm 40 years into my career here, and frankly, the built environment, how buildings are designed and delivered, really hasn't changed. And in my opinion, the quality has gone down over time during my career. Yes, we've got nice tools. Yes, we've got BIM. We've got nice phones. But at the end of the day, I could write you the defects list for a building that's not yet built and have that be absolutely correct, because the same old problems. In fact, I would argue, when I first started, we used to do a lot of engineering drawings by hand. And the guy who mentored me would go out and measure everything and make sure it was right. I would argue there's less accuracy and delivery with BIM than there is with hand-drawn drawings. That's my thing. I'm not a stuck in the mud guy. I'm a fan of digital processes and transformation. I'm just frustrated we haven't had that real revolution in the delivery of buildings.
And Adam, what do you think is the root cause? Not the symptom. I get the symptom is people are lazy, people are, but what is the root cause underneath that?
I think you've always got to look at the incentives and disincentives. There's a thing called the Moloch trap. It's a game theory thing. When you design and build a project, you're all on the same team, right? The engineers, the architect, the delivery people, the constructors. Yet the way contracts are set up, everyone is incentivized to cut corners and just work in their own self-interest. So it looks on the surface, everyone's on the same side, but really you're incentivized to just look after yourself and make decisions in your own best interest, because that's how the contracts are set up, right? So you wind up with suboptimal outcomes. 2 + 2 always equals 3 in property delivery. It never equals 5 or 6. There's 100 reasons for that, but there's a lot of cronyism, corruption, incompetence as well. You never get rewarded for doing a great job. If you build a building, there has never been a contractor that has received this feedback from the client that goes like this: well done, you delivered on time and on budget. Here's a bonus for doing a great job. Said nobody ever. So you're completely incentivized to minimize and do the minimum possible and get away with it, because there's not a lot of consequences for bad work. That's my thing.
Understood, and that makes sense. What is the solution, do you think?
I think everyone talks about vertically integrating the design and delivery process for buildings. So if you drink the Kool-Aid, people will say PPP, public-private partnerships. That's verticalization of the delivery process, right? The client, the government, or whoever puts an output spec out, and then they hire a design and delivery team. The problem is this: that team is horizontal, not vertical, because it normally ends up to be a big construction firm who can borrow money, and then they hire a design team the same way they hire bricks and pipes. So that team, that is a management contracting entity. It is not a vertically integrated team. True vertical integration is like the iPhone delivery, where the designers, the delivery, the manufacturing, everything is in one place, vertically integrated. That does not exist in the built environment at all. And everyone who's tried it, quite frankly, Katana being a great example in the US, has gone broke, because the incentives are all aligned not to do that, right? It's all about pushing risk down. So
that doesn't seem to be a solution. That's not a profitable solution. So what is the solution?
The solution is, and I used to be a development project manager. I think the owners are the architects of the headaches they complain about. An owner does this: I cannot understand why he's hit himself on the head with a brick. I can't understand why I got a headache, right? Until owners and developers demand buildings with no defects, fully integrated, that work, they will never get it. The conceit is oh, I've done a design and build contract, I've pushed all the risk down there, I'm covered. And if they don't deliver, I'll sue them out of existence. All that
Yeah.
creates is disincentives to do great work. No one will stick their head above the minimum. So
Yeah.
I think this rests with the owners and the people who procure buildings to just demand excellence and get it and hire people who can tell them what it looks like and check it. That's
Yeah.
again, this is heresy, by the way. What I'm talking about here is heresy.
Wonderful. I will love it. We absolutely love heresy because this is a theme after 800 interviews I had. And when you would have thought it's only the building industry, but it's the same as the health industry, it's the same as the banking industry, it's the same of insurance industry, it's the same as the IT industries, right?
Yeah.
All 70% of all projects by McKinsey ends up being over budget and over time.
Yeah.
And not meeting their objectives, right? So, and that's across all industries, right? So we have a fundamental problem to fix here, and what you're suggesting is the customer needs to be educated to a different standard of excellence. And if the customer knows what an excellence look like, it's more likely that the suppliers can rise to that level. So that's one issue. And of course, the other one, I'm sure you'd agree, is to have a different standard of supply of design and architecture coming from within the companies and being proud of excellence, right? That's a whole culture of excellence, being a new culture of excellence, right?
Yeah.
What it reminds me quickly is if that saying, it's not a saying, it's a parable where a guy goes past the cathedral and he sees this bricklayer. You know that? Why don't you tell? You know that one, right? So why don't you say it for us?
No, I just so I do want to say quickly because that is people think there are construction firms in the world, right? Lend lease, blah blah blah. They are not construction firms.
Uh,
They don't employ bricklayers or plasterers or pipe fitters. They are management contractors.
Yeah.
There are zero construction firms in the world who deliver big infrastructure buildings.
right.
And that is the problem. It's a segmented, everyone like the game in contracting is risk management, push the risk down,
Right.
chop it up, chop it up, right?
Yeah.
And it just creates, and again, there's nothing new under the sun. I'm a big fan of, studying not the Roman Empire, just Rome in general, right? Every problem you see today has been around forever, right?
Right.
But
But
did
then
Julius Caesar say everyone tells themselves what they have to tell themselves to get through the day and follow the money, right? If you want to know why it is, follow the money.
yeah. So what I was trying to suggest by that parable, most people know it, is that a culture of excellence stands from inspiration for why we do things. So that guy who was building the cathedral, he was building it for the glory of God, not to build to spec of the designer, right?
Yeah.
And so if you don't have that ethics, if you don't have that inspiration, that, I don't know what to call it, that passion for beauty, that passion for divine, then what we're doing is we're getting reduced to the lowest bottom denominator, which is money, which is what we got right now, right?
Yeah, the why is very important. There was I can't remember his name, as a guy who was made famous by a TED talk about describing the why. The why matters, right? This is one of the reasons I think someone like Apple is successful, right? They understand that why.
Yeah.
We want to be the best. We want to deliver the best experience and product, right? Not just product and experience.
Exactly. And also who remember Steve Jobs said once, they asked him, "Who are you? Are you a computer guy?" He goes, "Please don't offend me." He goes, "Why? Who are you?" He says, "I'm an artist. I'm a technological artist. I create artwork." So it's the same, isn't it the same theme that we're having here? The guy who is putting on cobblestone bricks on a cathedral, he said, "I'm an artist. I built it for the glory of God." Who he was perceiving is very different to, right? To just a
So he was what I call mission driven, right?
mission driven. Okay,
I
thank
think
you. You said it better. Yeah.
The real mission, a mission has to be something that's almost unattainable, right? Doing something for the glory of God. Doing like a mission in my life might be, I want to make it that high performance, zero defect buildings are possible, right? Everyone will scream at you, that's not possible. It is possible. We just don't demand it, right?
Yeah, because we're not mission driven, right? Because the
Because we're not
culture,
mission driven. We are
right,
survival driven. We're not
right.
even task driven. We're survival driven, which is why that ownership, that emotion. Apple's breakthrough was not just a great product plus experience. So if you applied that to delivering a building, let's say a signature AAA office building, not just a great technical product, but a great experience, designing for IAQ, for occupant comfort, for occupant, experience. These things, what I learned when I was a development manager was, and this was a revelation to me. Again, I'm a bit stupid, I'm a bit slow, so you should know about me, right? When you're a developer, that building is a physical building, but in the developer's mind, it is a financial asset, right? A developer looks at a AAA office and asks themselves, how much can I rent that for? How can I securitize that money and then raise more money, right? They don't sit there and go, I wonder what it's like to be the guy living on the 4th floor office in the corner. Is that a nice experience? Said nobody ever, right? And this is the problem. It's about the money, which is important, but it's not about the experience. You can differentiate yourself based on that, but again, there's not a lot of reward for it. It's always the minimum viable product.
Yeah.
But I'd argue it's less than minimum viable product. It's what can I get away with, which is below that, right?
Understand. Listen, Adam, thank you so much. We come to the end of the segment, but we're in a complete alignment. Thank you for your passion. Keep disturbing the peace, because I think it's required, and we'll have you again. Maybe we'll go a little bit deeper next time.
I'd love to do that. I'm a big fan of individual performance within this environment as well, which is one of the ways to change it, right? Thank you so much for having me on. I really enjoyed it.
Thank
And
you,
I apologize for ranting. I do get a bit ranty.
Ranting is what we want. Thank you.
Thank you very much.